Brother, let me ask you something. Look around at modern relationships. Do you feel like something is fundamentally broken? It's not because men have stopped loving women. It's because men are forgetting how to be men. That core masculine energy, the very force that built civilizations, protected families, and inspired unshakable loyalty, is now being ridiculed, minimized, and shamed. And the most dangerous part, men are starting to believe the lie. There was a time when men carried weight. I'm not just talking about physical strength. I mean emotional, moral, and spiritual weight. They were the bedrock, the foundation upon which families and communities were built. Now, that foundation is cracking. Turn on your phone, scroll through social media, listen to the chatter on talk shows or even in classrooms. What do you hear? Masculinity is dismissed as toxic. A man's confidence is twisted into arrogance. Leadership is relabeled as control. The quiet strength of stoicism is called coldness. So what's the result? Men are shrinking. They're silencing their own voices, walking on eggshells, and apologizing for their very existence. And the moment that powerful, grounded masculine energy dies, something else dies with it. Polarity, attraction, respect. Because let's be brutally honest, without a strong masculine pole, there can be no vibrant feminine pole. All you're left with is a chaotic mess that people try to label as equality. We told an entire generation of men to open up, to be softer, to show their emotions. But here's the crucial part we left out. We never taught them how to do it without losing the very essence of who they are. So what do we have now? Men crying on TikTok, not for release but for validation. Men seeking approval from others instead of finding direction within themselves. They overcommunicate every feeling, hoping for a consensus instead of standing firm in their convictions. They've confused genuine vulnerability, the strength to be honest about your struggles, with emotional weakness and neediness. Brother, let's be real for a second. You cannot lead a family, a business, or yourself from a place of guilt. You cannot generate powerful attraction from a place of need. What always made a man magnetic wasn't just his ability to take charge, it was his presence. That deep, grounded energy. That quiet, unshakable confidence that broadcasted to the world, I know who I am. I know where I'm going, and I've got this. That energy is fading. It's being replaced by performative empathy and a kind of emotional dependence that drains everyone involved. We've raised a generation of men who feel more intensely than ever before, but stand for less than ever before. And here's the paradox that no one wants to talk about. Women often say they want an emotional, open man. But when they finally get one, a man who is adrift in his own feelings, who looks to her for his emotional stability, they stop feeling safe. Because deep down, at a primal level, feminine energy craves direction. It doesn't crave dominance or aggression. It craves decisiveness. It craves a man with grounded power, a man who is a steady rock in the storm of life. When a man's masculine energy disappears, the woman's polarity is forced to flip. She has to become the driver. She takes over the planning, the deciding, the controlling. And slowly, without even realizing why, she loses her attraction for him. Now you have couples who are perfect equal partners on paper, but are complete strangers emotionally. There's no spark, no passion, no deep connection. She's exhausted from being forced into a leadership role she never wanted. He's drained from a constant, fruitless effort to please her. And both of them sit there, wondering why the love died. But it's not the love that died, it's the polarity. You see this dynamic everywhere. Men who tiptoe around the truth to avoid an argument. Men who feel like they need permission to voice their own opinions. Men who have mistaken being kind and agreeable for having a life purpose. These aren't bad men, not at all. They are good men who have been made invisible. The death of masculine energy isn't a loud, dramatic explosion. It's a silent, polite, and compliant fade to gray. It happens every time you stop taking a calculated risk because you're afraid to fail. It happens when you trade your honest truth for a moment of false peace. It happens every time you say yes to something that violates your core values just to avoid a difficult conversation. And every single time you do that, a part of you dies. Not physically, of course, but energetically. Your life force dwindles. Because a man without a mission, without direction, isn't truly alive. He's just functioning, going through the motions, a ghost in his own life. But listen to me, brother. This is not the end of the story. Here is the hope. Masculine energy never truly dies. It can be suppressed, it can be shamed, but it can't be extinguished. It just goes dormant, waiting for a reason to rise again. You don't need to become some aggressive caricature. You don't need to dominate anyone. You just need to reclaim your center. Your core. How do you do that? You start by leading the one person you have absolute control over, yourself. Lead your body, train it, discipline it, make it strong. Lead your emotions, feel them, understand them, but do not be ruled by them. And most importantly, find and lead yourself on your mission. Stop looking to the world for permission to be a man. Start living with the conviction that the world depends on you to be one, because, in many ways, it does. The death of masculine energy isn't the final chapter. It's a wake-up call. It's a warning signal. Because when good men stop leading, everything they have built, their families, their communities, their very legacy begins to crumble. Your woman, your family, your world, they don't need a savior. They need a man who is awake, present, grounded. Be that man, not a perfect man. Not the loudest man in the room, but a present man, a man with a center. Because when true masculine energy rises again with integrity and purpose, so does everything else in the world worth saving. Thank you for listening. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Let's start this conversation and bring that energy back.